Welcome to Built for This. I'm your host, Brian Briscoe. My podcast features captivating conversations with intriguing people who have found purpose in their lives through their career, family, or life experiences, and just why they were built for this. Through the stories that you will hear, I trust that you will be inspired and encouraged to find just what you were built for. So let's get started. And welcome again to another episode of Built for This in the studio today. Now, this is going to be interesting. My guest is an entrepreneur. He's been in a family business for a long time, then started his own business. And probably the most key part of that, he's my brother, Mike Briscoe. And Mike's my guest today. Mike, hey thanks
Brian.
For doing this.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how we both got here, how you got with what you're doing, and entrepreneurship and family nouriship. So when we're growing up, we're pretty much indoctrinated into the early work ethic. Talk a little bit about what it was like. Dad owned a tire store early on, and there really was no option. You were going to work at the tire store while going to school, right?
Well, the original was the gas station.
Well, it was the gas station. You're right. I need to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Blue Flame gasoline.
Go gas.
Yeah.
The original self-serve in Denton, by the way.
That's right. I think I bought gas there for 19 cents a gallon one time.
Gas wars.
Okay. Anyway.
Yep.
So you started out, we both started out.
Kids.
But what was it like as kids? Yeah. Talk about.
Kids, yeah. Child labor. They could get away with it in those days. So, we worked weekends and stuff like that, pumping gas. We learned a lot about that. And then
right.
Dad segued into the tire business for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so it moved from there on Locust to Elm Street.
Right. This is in Denton, Texas.
Yep. The original Texan cafe for the super old timers.
Yeah.
And, created from a restaurant into a tire business.
Somehow. I mean, I remember helping set that place up, and it was nothing but fish tanks and old fish food in there.
Yeah. I think, I want to say, I think I was 16, so it makes you about 18.
That's
like
right.
That.
I think so you're right. Some people have childcare after school.
Yep.
Ours was the tire store, the gasoline station.
Yep.
First of all, you were ride my bike down there, I remember, before I could drive a car. So we both get started in the tire business, not really by choice, because that's but that was that's what we were going to do.
Reflectively, I guess all this is. So, the upside was we got paid.
Well, that's true.
And so
Dad paid us pretty well for that time.
And so, we always had running money. And it allowed us to have even though we grew up very modestly, as you know, but we had cool cars. And
we did have cool cars.
So we were able to do that and, and had money in your pocket. So that was interesting,
I remember, and you could probably talk about this, but, we were getting paid cash usually, or however Dad did that back in there. But early on, I think before we could drive, at the gasoline side of the business, I think I got paid with a roll of quarters. Yeah. I think that was $2 worth. So that was a week's worth of work. But after we get up into high school, you mentioned, you're right, Dad provided a work experience for us, whether we appreciated it or not at that time. We did have cars, but more importantly, we had really cool tires and wheels.
Absolutely. The best.
The best.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was cool.
So what was, talk about, I think we may have similar experiences. Now, this is before I kind of go my way in career and you get your career. But I think a lot of kids that get this opportunity to maybe work in a family business don't necessarily appreciate it at that time. And we probably were in that same boat early on. Yeah,
it's probably interesting. It was just kind of one of those things. We just did it. Mm-hmm. And didn't seem weird. So you worked after high school, and then of course you and I got into college. Yeah, here at North Texas, Go Mean Green.
Yeah, Go Mean Green.
And so probably about the time that you were graduating is when I pushed my way out of the garage and to get behind the counter.
Right.
So which was interesting. You know, whatever. I'm going to get off on a tangent here, but
Oh, please do.
So, you know, when we think about it, we just made it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dad, for whatever reason, just moved to the back office.
Yeah.
Never to be seen again, so to speak,
right.
you know. And so all the sales and direction of the company, you know, at 20 years old, I thought,
You're doing it.
here we go. And it seemed, you know, I don't know, I guess that's the thing about entrepreneurship. You know, you don't really get invited, you just take it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so you just, if you decide you want something, you go after it. And so little did I know, but it just felt natural, felt normal. You know, of course, that was the, maybe I had the curve here, but that was the thing. Of course, the thought then was, well, I'm going to get my degree.
Right.
And
Business.
and then I'm gone for sure.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, you know, you start to graduate. So you start, you know, looking for a job, right? Looking, you know, I'm going to be a corporate dude now. I'm getting out of this dirty tire business, whatever. And so you're going to do that. You know, not a lot of interest, whatever, I guess. And but I did have one offer. I just remember this, and it was from Richard, our uncle.
Oh, okay.
Out in West Texas.
In the oil and gas industry, I believe.
Yep. And so for their business, and he offered me a job. And of course, at that time, Sue and I were, you know, a thing.
Yeah. Sue, your now wife.
Yep. And so I remember going to Sue and say, hey, I got this offer. It looks really good. I think I want to take it. And she said, I think you should. I said, well, what are you thinking? She goes, I'm never coming out there.
I think you should take it, but I'm not going to be there.
There's not a chance I'm moving to Midland, Odessa.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. So it's interesting how different things change your life. And so I said, well, I'm not going either. So,
well, you know, that's an interesting point. And I'm going to come back to, you know, you studying business at North Texas and then, you know, running the tire store, because I came to almost exact crossroads at the time that I was getting out of North Texas. And I had that same mentality of, if I can get my degree, then I'll just get out of the tire business and go into broadcasting.
Anything.
What I did, right. So as I was graduating, I had an opportunity. It's almost similar area geographically.
Yep.
I had an opportunity to go to Abilene, Texas.
Scenic Abilene.
Scenic Abilene, Texas. Not too much different from Midland, Odessa.
Right.
To work in broadcasting and TV sports. Well, of course, I was in a similar thing, dating my then wife, who was just dating. And I thought, I asked her the same question. What do you think about going to Abilene and taking this TV thing? And she said the same thing. I think you should, but I'm not going to Abilene.
Never.
Well, I turned that down.
Yep.
Ended up there. So I sidetracked, but we had similar experiences unknowingly.
Yeah.
But so you're studying business at North Texas. We're both working at the tire store. I do get my degree, go on.
Yep.
You're now running the tire store. And so that how different was that though as a young entrepreneur? Maybe you didn't even know you were an entrepreneur then because you were still kind of getting going. But the difference from moving from the heavy manual labor, which we both knew for so long, to now having to make different decisions and run a business.
Yeah. So, I do recall, you know, after deciding not to go to West Texas, that Dad and I cut a deal. And the deal was, he basically gave me, you know, not that I don't know if it had any value, but I got 25% of the company.
Okay.
And so I had a piece of the action.
Yeah.
And so that was my motivation to stay, if you will.
So that changed your perspective.
And so, so I became inspired. And, you know, Dad's, you know, the ultimate nice guy, as we all know.
Sure.
And not a great business guy, but a great guy.
Just did it the old school way.
Super old school.
Handshakes, nothing written down.
Yeah. And so, so it was fun. Took all the reins and we just went for it.
Yeah.
And so it was very exciting times. I mean, you know, in my opinion, in that era, 80s, 90s, we dominated.
Growth.
We dominated. And, you know, it's interesting. We got to the point there where we thought, we can't put another person through the door. There's just not enough. I mean, we just could churn volume like it was no tomorrow. So that was exciting. In that respect, I get it to this day. I still get a big buzz on the deal.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm starting thinking about this when we talk about this. So my mantra then was that, it's a retail store, so people came in.
Yeah.
But my mantra was nobody walks. And so
You sell them something.
we're going to make a deal.
Yeah.
Whether it was
Well,
good.
you still have that mantra.
Well,
pretty
exactly.
much there.
So that segues on. We did,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an order to this, but anyway,
there's
so
no order.
we did in our early 20s. Sue and I got involved in a multi-level company, Amway, but
Yeah.
so we learned some awesome skills, and there's a thing called social styles, and it's a design of understanding people, who they are, and if you give somebody a set of information, how they respond to that. And
Okay.
so you're expressive, driver, analytical, amiable, and because you can't just have a conversation with everybody the same way because
Yeah.
they don't receive it. When you're striving
Good
to
point.
generate an outcome, if you will, that's not manipulate, but you're generating it there. You're just trying to relate or connect, right?
Yeah.
So, I drank that,
Mm-hmm.
and to this day, I love it. So that you always put my personality is not the right personality; it's just who it is,
Yeah.
and how I see things there. So I think that really helped us in moving the tire business to the heights that it was.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for a Classic Roof as well
Well,
in that.
I'm going to jump in there, and we're going to talk about Classic and what you're doing now. But that mindset that you picked up from your years with Amway and just learning how to relate or connect with people on different levels.
Yeah.
But how exciting was that for you, Mike, when you were able to use those kind of concepts to elevate the tire business to a point where maybe it would never get there if someone like you had not stepped in with these new visionary type things and build it up to something that was you were very proud of and something that was probably not going to happen if you hadn't done that.
Well, it was when you're young,
Yeah.
you have the energy, and we all know that youth injection in any business is dynamic.
Yeah.
And so there we were in our 20s, and just I got handed the reins, and I thought,
Wow.
dude, I'm digging this. And so became from, anything from ordering to just everything, A to Z to, hiring and the management, all the guys outside there. It was a rush deluxe there.
Yeah.
So I love that part there. So the cap became, in any retail business, is my opinion, right? So the cap becomes, in a retail business, there is a cap. You can only so many hours in a day, only so many bodies on you can put a treadmill out there and they just come in as fast and go there. So, I did realize that there was going to be the height of it all.
Yeah.
And so, you can only make so much money, and so then what? Now what there? And so, and that became a concept mentally. And then with, in that deal, the more I did, the less Dad did.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, in any kind of, you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, being a sole entrepreneur,
Solopreneur
is everything,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because
Yeah.
otherwise you can somehow get sideways because you can feel like I'm doing more.
Mm-hmm.
I want more.
Yeah.
And so that became part of our challenge because, you love your parents, always.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking you're not pulling your weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I need to do my own thing.
Yeah. So that was probably became the exit,
Yeah.
futuristically.
So when what did you think about when you, here you are, like you said, you kind of get the reins handed to you at a pretty young age, run a business, build it up. You're getting those entrepreneurial juices flowing and that mindset. What were you thinking about? What would be the next venture, and what would it be that would really challenge you as an entrepreneur?
For that window, which is a pretty big window, maybe 15 years, you're just so busy doing day to day in the beginning. It's just, and it's super exciting. And when you're in your 20s, you just have unlimited energy. There's no amount of hours I'll work. And so turn the key to open it up, shut it down, clean the bathrooms, I'll do anything.
Yeah.
And so it was super great, but then as we age and mature and you think, wow, you know what, I'd like a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we had opportunities. Sue and I, we've really drank in the whole success mindset. I've just, if there's a book out there, I've read it. I love it to this day.
Yeah.
A lot of broadcasts. Today's podcast, back then it was cassette tapes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Videos. And so, I mean, it changed us to elevate us to thinking that we could have more. And so, that began the thought of, I want to do something else. And I didn't know what that something else was, of course, right?
Yeah.
You know the story there. You're just thinking, but it's got to be something else. And so that instigated the sale of moving that out. And it was more so, reflectively how it benefited Dad.
Yeah.
Really, as you know, set him up in a good, great financial position.
Yeah.
And, I just thought, I just want to go.
Yeah.
I just want the door. Now, the challenge of that is I didn't have my other deal set up there. And that would be from an offer to the next, or don't leave too soon.
I've done that. you have something waiting for you before you exit the door.
Yeah. People, it's like if you have a job there, don't leave it till you have your next one.
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, start your other gig and get it going before you close the door. Because our next deal didn't really come to fruition, Classic Group, where we are today, for 2 years. So, but we still spent all the money like we were.
Like it was.
Yeah. So, so the segue of that is, so we went broke, by the way. That was a lot of fun. That's sarcastic. So we went broke, and we used to live in Southridge, so we had to sell our house, create a lot of debt.
Yeah.
I don't recommend this path to anybody, by the way.
All right.
Create a lot of debt, had like $100,000 on credit cards. And so we moved to a rent house. It's always easier to move up, by the way.
Yeah.
Moving down it's
a tough feel.
It's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
So, so we moved down to a rent house, and at that time I think Madison was like about 2.
Your daughter, Madison. Yep.
And so, so you know what? And that segued into a Classic Group there. So from then, the vow of that was, I'm never gonna let that happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course
you've done pretty well.
We're
since
thankful.
then.
We're thankful. Yeah. You want to think about that time.
Yeah.
For Sue and I, you make decisions, right? You're thinking if you're on your way back, or even if you're beginning on your way up as a young entrepreneur. So you can't have any expenses. So there was no eating out, and you're not popping in the 7-Eleven for a Dr. Pepper or anything.
Anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no cable TV.
Yeah.
That was an intriguing time. So there's nothing. You just, you went to work.
Well, let me ask you about that. Here you are, you come, Mike, through your 20s and elevate the tire store and build that thing up, and it's rocking and rolling. And now there's the exit strategy and selling the company and helps Dad. And now you're ready to launch off. But then all of a sudden this happens, and there's this valley here.
Yep.
And so I'd like to ask, what do you learned about yourself as a person or as a businessman to know that what would come in the future? What'd you learn from that kind of a hurdle that made you stronger?
Sure. I think, if you have a competitive mindset.
Yeah, you do.
So, and a don't quit mindsets, which is an entrepreneur's.
You have to have that.
Lifesaver.
Yeah.
So, I remember making a plan in our rent house. In our rent house, and here, Sue, what we can do is we can get back in 5 years to 0. That was the goal, just to get back to 0.
Back to 0.
So, thankfully, I did have a lot of dental contacts. I was the retail business, a lot of bodies in there. And so we knew a lot of people. So I pounded doors, pounded realtors. Here's my new gig. And, in construction, which I went into, I didn't really know anything, but I knew how to manage people, and I knew how to do a deal.
Yeah.
And so that became that. And so we, I guess to this day there, my drive is as strong as ever as you can appreciate. When you're an entrepreneur, there's really no clock.
No.
If someone calls me at 7, I answer.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, today texting is easy.
Yes.
And weekends and we're a real heavy real estate driven. So realtors, they work on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You're on vacation. A long time ago, there used to be a thing. Used to bother Sue. Now she's thinking
It's all part of the life now.
it's just part of it. So the solo entrepreneurs just, of course, I love it.
Well, you talk about that point that, okay, you went broke.
Yep.
You got down to this point. Now what's the plan? What's the next plan to
Yep.
get out of that? And I'm going to share that I was, at a similar point, not that long ago,
Yep.
really before I started out on my own.
Yep.
I'd worked in the, as you know, Mike, I'd worked in the communications business for a long time.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, I walk in one day to place I was working, and things were changing in a hurry, and all of a sudden we separated ways that day.
Yeah.
And not, with no parachute, no idea what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share on the podcast that it was you that came to me and said, I think you should go out on your own.
Yep.
I think you have enough contacts. You should build your own business, start a business.
Yep.
And I'll say that was the most terrifying thing that's ever been said to me.
Yep.
And I think probably every entrepreneur feels that way, maybe when they're starting, is that's a terrible idea, a scary idea.
It's scary.
It's scary. But it motivated me to take that leap into a net that I thought would appear in case I needed it. Just take it out there.
Yep.
It's been 8 years. And it was the best decision I made.
Yeah.
With your encouraging. So I say all that to say that, looking at your career, what do you tell people? Maybe it's similar to what you were telling me, that you can do it, but people that want to be an entrepreneur, want to take a chance, but they're afraid. They have fear.
Sure. Well, as you know now today, and I'll answer that,
Okay.
is that I believe that our nation's founded on small businesses.
I agree.
And I believe that if you want self-satisfaction, that's the only way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And from a financial, our tax laws are written for people that own their own business versus people that work for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things in mind, and always the word depends there, but my encouragement to be is to, even for my kids, is chase that dream. Because if you don't, there's always that what if. And, it's now when you're an entrepreneur, you're just self-motivated. Yeah. You don't think, I'm just going to go in and do my thing, whatever's on the schedule. You're thinking you have to make the schedule. Mm-hmm. We have to make it happen. Yeah. And so now today I love that rush of taking something, and as an entrepreneur, your business today, my business today, is that it was just an idea. And as an entrepreneur, if you want to take that idea to a thing that actually can create an income and a lifestyle, is incredibly self-satisfying. It's just, and at the same time, the interesting thing is a lot of times the entrepreneur, you're kind of flying under the radar. The Briscoe tire thing was, there's a sign,
the
there's
public
your name,
facing of it.
You go, everybody knew your name and everything, but it maybe didn't have all the payments or the attributes that you have when you create your own thing, as you're doing, as I'm doing there. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's the rush deluxe. So when you decide, okay, I'm going to do Classic Roof Systems, and that's the company now. How many years now we been doing Classic Roof? Well, I think I hold it, man. So like right at 30. 30. So you've got it down. What is it that you think that has been a benchmark over these 30 years that sets you apart from a lot of different roofers out there? Yeah. Because there's a lot of people that they can call. Sure. So you have to have something, and it can be customer service, dependability, responsibility, things like that. Yeah. So, So our mantra or motto is we always want to give more. So whatever the deal I make with you as a homeowner or commercial, whatever contractor, we're going to deliver more than you thought we're going to deliver. So that when the experience is over, you thought, wow, that was It was a good deal. It was well done. I'm so sad. I'm oversatisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And so our mantra is to always do more. And now all my guys that work with me, which, I'm essentially a general contractor that are subs there, they have free will to do more. If we, find something that's necessary, flashing, whatever, gutters that need more downspouts, they just do it because they know I'll pay them, which is fine. And so the second part for us is that we make sure that all our subs are paid more than the general, payment structures out there. Yeah. Because of other guys there. So we want to make sure that they want to work for us. They appreciate that. And of course, as you know, everybody wants to get paid. So they get paid first. Mm-hmm. Whether I've been paid or not, that's a moot point there. Mm-hmm. So, take care of the guys, always give them more. And so, my main foreman, Caesar the King, has been with me. I met him when he was 18. He's 43.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's a good dude.
Well, that right there, that is something, it seems like that is a great customer service, and with your subcontractors, the laborers, that the establishment of the dependability and credibility that you've established with this workforce and with the people, the customers facing side, that seems to be like, that's huge.
Yeah.
And that you don't have to constantly searching for, I need a new crew now because they are unhappy with me or whatever.
Yeah.
Stability, keeping things flowing the same. How important is that?
It's everything, I think. In my industry as a contractor, most contractors, my whole business is referral.
Yeah.
We do no advertising. So we got there. Someone asked us to be there already. So we try to do a proper job previous to that, which is good there. And my industry where I've focused on has been insurance claims.
Yeah.
And so the the upside of that is that I understand the paperwork. Whereas like you make a claim and you get this packet of paperwork, it's just super confusing.
Yeah.
And so our pitch is currently we have completed 9,000 plus claims. Mm-hmm. So we have, that's our blanket of stability.
Credibility there.
Yeah. And so we got it. We're going to carry the ball, from A to Z and, generate that confidence, to the homeowner.
And most homeowners, probably have no idea what their coverage is or how to do it all.
Yeah.
And how many times have you run into where it's like, if you tell them, look, I can do this, the whole thing for you.
Yeah.
That might be the selling point right there.
Usually it is. It's just to say that, before I came here, I met an adjuster, talked to homeowners, actually some people that as well here locally in Denton. And just say, I'll work with the adjuster. I understand it. I'll be the intermediary so that you understand what's going on, and I'll take care of you. I'll cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is.
Mike, what if you look back now, like you said, you've been doing roof business 30 plus years, and then you had the tire stuff before that.
It's crazy.
But what is it that you learned, do you think, from running the family tire business now that you can look back in hindsight that gives you and your business, maybe a step ahead of other people, or you personally, the knowledge and what you've learned as a business owner and as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think, I look back reflectively, positively on the Briscoe tire experience. And I think that experience gave you initially, then myself, just the ability to go to work.
Yeah.
And just that you had to deal with the public. Mm-hmm. And so, and that's everything, it's not standing out there. Even the guys in the shop, you're dealing with the public. And so that kind of forced that behavior. So it feels real easy and real normal. And you learn how to treat people nice and kind and, do the right thing. So I think that experience was a great initial foundation that, and I think also you find that people are just people, and it's not about, when you're in the retail thing or in my deal today, it's not about the age of somebody. At one time we were younger when we were dealing with older people. Now we're the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Or people in certain income brackets or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think also by, when, we lost everything and moved to the rent house era, I have a super great appreciation for the everyday dude.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I've seen the bottom. So, I think a lot of those are awesome.
And in business, and maybe more so for an entrepreneur, a solopreneur.
Yeah.
It seems like really it just comes down to whatever you're transacting. If I'm doing a podcast or I'm doing somebody's PR work for them and you're doing roofing, that it really is about relationships and people. That you have a commodity, sure,
100%.
but is it not really come down just to a relationship thing?
Yeah, I think that's the essence of everything. And if anybody in our digital world that we live in today, which I love, like the next person, but if you could create your expertise of learning how to connect with people, kind of going back to those 4 quadrants of understanding people and making a point to have an invested interest in them, even if it's just that moment, because that's versus just, buying something off the web that we still do, which I like to. So, yeah.
You mentioned work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it may, for us old guys, may seem like that as a dying breed sometime, but when you recognize and see, and you mentioned it's wonderful bringing people into your company, and I get to work with certainly like the people that produce this podcast and other people I come in contact with, younger people that are so passionate and energetic and bring so much to the workforce and to the creative mind, that kind of work ethic is key to an entrepreneur's spirit and success.
Yeah. It's, you and I are more in the reflective mode today, so it's fun to see that. And, if I could state some things for, the next gen, whatever, you live by certain codes or whatever, here are these statements that you remind you. A guy said one time, he said, it's okay to get excited when there's nothing to be excited about.
Mm.
And so, you get up in the morning thinking, I'm not feeling it, but you got to get excited about it.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You got to bring it. You got to put your game face on, every day. And, cause it's, it's the old, how to eat an elephant, a bite at a time, things like that.
There you go.
So, if I can encourage everybody is to, it's, you got to grind it through, which is, but it's there. And as you know, today in the world of networking, which is everything.
It's everything.
Which that's people.
Yeah.
It's not putting your resume out to 5,000 people. It's meeting them
face to face.
Yeah. And that's where everything happens. Still today, you're creating a service, and how you doing that? Well, not with a number. You're doing it with face to face.
Yeah.
I love it.
What's on the horizon for you? You want to grow this business, or are you looking just to get on the golf course? Or no, I know you are.
Yeah.
But being an entrepreneur, you just had this spirit and drive for so long. It seems like all entrepreneurs I meet, they never really come to an end of anything and they're looking for something else.
That's a great question, and that is a current question.
Yeah.
So, I also know the next generation wants us to get out of the way. Let me say that too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like we did at the tire store.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. So, but I'm investigating that right now to decide what's next. So Sue and I, super blessed, is we're trying to travel more, do fun things like you and I did, go to Nashville, see the SEC tournament.
A lot of basketball.
Yeah. We want to do fun things like that. Doesn't have to be super over the top, but we're trying to get as many events in as we can.
Yeah.
And then, chase it from there.
And, we talked about at the very start of the show about being a family-run business, family-oriented, and that's what we grew up in.
Yeah.
And there's so many, I think, entrepreneurial people that grew up in that kind of an atmosphere. And we talked about the challenges and everything, but what about the positive side of that, or the strength of, and even now, I mean, I know, you have, we have great relationship here, and then you staying connected, but the strength of family being there to help support you while you're trying to build a business is important.
I mean, family is critical. You need your group that supports you. One thing I would encourage for all entrepreneurs is try to be your own entrepreneur.
Yeah. Step out there.
Well, don't do a partnership. Just do your own thing. Mm-hmm. You can have people that assist you, but that way, if you make a mistake, it's your thing. But then also if you do great, you can accept the rewards there. But I think that, find a great support team. Yeah. But keep it as a support team. And one thing I did like about the Briscoe Tire era, and even today, is that when you have people that work with you, there can come a point there where they've outgrown their time with you. Yeah. And so I always appreciated, even then, to encourage people to move on, to move forward
to the next challenge.
They have a better deal, that they've peaked within your company or whatever. And so I love that. I want, anybody that's worked with us or worked with me, if they can do more, I'm their support team on that.
Yeah. So, I talk to a lot of college students and speak there quite a bit, and they're leaning and trying to figure out what they're going to do in life and that kind of thing. And you address this a little bit, but for those that are trying to go down a journey and thinking about entrepreneur, but thinking, I can't do that. I'm 20s. I need to work for somebody for 25, 30 years, then do it. Yeah. But you are a great example of, in your 20s, just did it, not knowing. What is that kind? What advice would you give someone who has those dreams and that aspiration, but again is trying to figure out, is there a path, or do I just do it?
Well, first I would say do it.
Yeah.
But also, don't be bummed out if the first deal is not the deal.
Yeah.
So my best deal has been the deal I started when I was 38. My current deal.
Yeah.
Way better than the last deal.
Yeah.
So I think some people can think, I've got to wait till I find this ultimate niche product or service that I can be into. In other words, go ahead and start. Go ahead and start, even if it's on the side, while you're maybe working your full-time gig, and see if it'll grow. And if it doesn't go, it's okay to pivot and to a different type of entrepreneurship there. And just, it's interesting, as you probably see, of course, you're interviewing a lot of people. When you are an entrepreneur, man, it just seems like ideas come to you. It's just like opportunities. Anyway, and as an entrepreneur, you think, wow, that might be something.
Yeah.
And because you think, I already know how to run an operation, an organization, a business there. Oh, that's interesting. Get started. It's okay to pivot.
I love the word pivot, and it's one of my favorite words because my career has been much like that too. Yeah. I started in radio broadcasting and now kind of went the PR way. But pivoting as an entrepreneur, expand on that a little bit more. Is that because there seems to be a lot of people that maybe even when they come out of college, or maybe they've been working a little bit, that they have a little bit of tunnel focus that, well, this is what I studied to do, so I've got to be doing this.
Sure.
As opposed to just get in somewhere and then find out that, oh, here's an opportunity, and that's a better route.
So, there's places that you can go and they do like a study on you to find out really your good path. And we've all heard stories that a guy gets a law degree and he thinks, God, this is
I hate this.
That's not my gig. Yeah. And so you go another direction. Yeah. I think a lot of those have values that you can see into that. First thing I think is just get in the workforce and get started, and then get in, especially if you're young, get into all the young professional groups, whatever. Yeah. and network. I mean, how we go to the Wake Up Wednesday is a great networking deal. And, when I go to those things, my mantra is I'm looking for one thing. If one thing can happen that can benefit, then it was a total success.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be gratuitous or gigantic. I mean, Sue and I, we look for the miracle a day. What's our miracle today?
Yeah.
So I mean, jump in a group there, get started. Even if you have a job, I mean, look for your niche, whatever it is.
And being an entrepreneur, I know we're running out of time here, but being an entrepreneur, how important is it to surround yourself with really key, dependable people in those key positions? You mentioned your foreman over the crew.
Yeah.
I know you have a guy close, Jake, that's close with you, but the importance of that, because you're just you, but you're going to have to release some leash and reins to some people to do stuff. But the importance of having trustworthy, dependable people when you're running your own business.
So I would have, I have two thoughts on that. So in my case, all your support team, whatever business you're doing is great. Like your support team here is valuable. But also individually, because you are an island.
Yeah.
And so it all looks glorious, but it's sometimes scary up there. And you're thinking, who do I talk to? And so a trusted business source, I've been fortunate to have that. A friend of mine, Jeff Carlton, I still talk to today. I met him in our Amway career, 40 years ago. I hired a personal business coach a couple different times, and which I still have a conversation with, just to bounce some ideas around. Because believe it or not all of our ideas are great. Just so, just somebody that's not, not judgmental thing, whatever, but you can say, hey, I'm thinking about this. And they're a business mind that you can hear. Yeah. I guess. So, yeah.
Well, you're doing great. You've come a long way from our days at the tire store. We didn't even talk about wiffle ball and
I know
all the slow pitch softball leagues we played in.
Maybe we should do like a
whole separate podcast for that, because we had a great career in slow pitch softball.
There was,
or at least in our minds.
I had all these trophies, and Sue sold them when we got married.
Did she really?
She did.
That is just wrong.
At a garage sale.
Sure. Well, I remember winning a tournament. And I was off doing a TV broadcast, but you had left a trophy on my desk before we got back.
Yep.
Anyway,
fun times.
But hey, it's been great having you on. Great success there with Classic Roof Systems, and of course, I love our time together. But thanks for being on the show.
Oh, it's fun. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, see you.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Built for This. Be sure to follow Built for This on your favorite listening platform and share it with a friend. Join me on the next episode when I will share entertaining stories of inspiration, encouragement, and purpose-driven experiences. What are you built for? Built for This is produced and recorded by Heart Media DFW.